Gotta fire up the old OBS. How's it going, everybody? Hopefully this isn't too loud. You'll let me know. It sounds okay on my end. Sounds okay on my end. Let me make sure I got all my screens in the right spot here. All the good people are in chat. The stream is working. I think we are set, hopefully. Oh, there I am. Look at me. We had 100K. Can you believe it? Can you believe it? Can you gosh darn believe it? Would you look at that? Happened last night at around 11, right? Let's just pull up a chart. I was messing around with the screener. I'll get to that in a second. Let me pull up Kraken. For whatever reason, Thursdays at 2 p.m., we tend to sell off. When I used to trade with BNC, Takami Capital, those folks in New Zealand under the prop side, we were always a day ahead because, sorry, they're a day ahead, right? They're in Tomorrowville, and on Thursdays we'd report our P&L, and every Thursday, I was down on Thursday, up on the day before, up on the day after. Just funny how that works. Still, even to this day, Thursday. It's a rough, rough day. Just reading chat here. Let me turn down my audio. I get distracted. I applaud the streamers who can like read chat and do what they're doing. That is a difficult skill for sure. All right, so here's BTC. We broke out. I think Sunday, this was difficult because on the daily, there's this, right? This is the cloud. We're above the cloud. Everything's bullish. If you're bearish, or if you've been bearish, I don't know what to tell you. Learn trend metrics and just turn anything on. Turn a 5200, anything you want. It doesn't have to be the cloud. I just like the cloud because it tells me a lot of information. But even the 5200, just stupid, simple type stuff. Go long, close your long. Is it the greatest trade? I'm just looking at the crosses here. Go long, close your long. Go long, 68 was the go long signal. Even on the 5200, which doesn't have the greatest hit rate. But it did get you in October 23 as well. So the best way to make money that I found for me, for my personality, is to be on the right side of the trend. So if you don't enjoy that, then I don't know what to tell you because it's going to be very tough, especially in crypto, legacy. Markets tend to want to go up. There's just a lot of money out there. So anyway, that's just basic moving averages. So on the cloud, my concern was the TK disequilibrium, the distance between the blue and the red line. Even here, you can see that it's getting tougher to keep going. Now we can quantify this and we can say, what is the exact distance of the TK disequilibrium? What is the distance of price from the key June, which is the mean reversion spot? We can quantify all that, or you can just eyeball it, right? And say, okay, this is mean reversion, this red line, that's 81. The downside risk was 79 before we broke out. So that was my concern. Similar to March, again, this isn't March. I said that, I think on Sunday. This isn't March. It's different than that. But math is math, right? People are up on, unrealized profits, no matter how you think about it. So we broke out, right? But there was a downside risk. There still is a downside risk. This is telling you, much like March, it is more likely that we try to go sideways here than just keep going infinitely forever. Markets need to digest this. If we are successful up here, the buyers and sellers come to an equilibrium at the very least. That just keeps us at this price. If we have more sellers than buyers, we go down, right? And the candlesticks the TA helps you decide what is the market trying to tell you, what is the bias here in the market. We can also look on-chain, and there's a ton of on-chain activity from old wallets. So I'm not bearish here, but I'm realistic that we are still screaming, right? We're still screaming. I know everybody wants to go up forever, infinitely. So that's the daily. The daily looks fine. Is there a great entry here? I don't know if there's a great entry here. We had this on the 4-hour. We survived a couple cloud breakdown attempts. We survived the random curveball geopolitical South Korea martial law thing. Bizarre, right? You never know what it's going to be, but the point was here that it's like, okay, we are at the do or die 95K. If the market needs a reason to sell off, it would have found one, and it survived, right? Okay, fine. Anyway, so we broke out. The measured move on this using fibs is somewhere between 105 and 109. That would be the expectation for the move. So the question here is, okay, when do we know that this has failed the target in the near term? I'm not talking about 2025. This is the 4-hour chart, right? We're just talking about realistically the next week. As long as we can hold above the 4-hour cloud, I'm happy. That's fine. Like, look at this thing. When we pull up the hit rate on the 4-hour cloud on alts recently, it's been insane. It's been insane. So it's very good. It's very good. So as long as we can stay above it, that's a bullish signal, definitely. But you can't just ignore how overbought we are relative to the time component, regardless of everything else, right? It's just, we literally went straight up. We did go sideways for a decent amount of time, but based on the cloud wants this to reconsolidate still continually. You know, it kind of feels like December. It kind of feels like December 2023 into January. You know, we had a similar situation. This wasn't even as overbought. We had this like euphoric ETF approval day when everything launched, and then GBTC came in. It doesn't matter what it is, but it was GBTC that came in and sold this all off. We don't have a daily candle that looks like that, not yet, but that's definitely something to watch out for. Does this daily candle close bearish? What does a bearish daily candle look like? That's a great example. Inverted dragonfly, a red close with a thin body pointing downward. that would be bad. As in, I wouldn't expect immediate bullish continuation. This could be a gravestone doji too, which is a tiny body and a huge wick. So on the day, we don't want to see that. You know, these are just common things that we don't want to see if we're bullish. That's gravestone. I don't know the actual difference between gravestone and shooting star, but shooting star would be similar. Just a huge wick. You know, we don't want that either. And this would be inverted dragonfly. We can do this. Something like this. my very poor candle drawing skills. You know, if it looks like this, then that's not good. That's not. I would not expect immediate continuation. So you don't want to see that for the day. That just says people came in and smashed this down. Now, it doesn't have to sell off to zero. Keep that in mind. This is a probability game. It's about bias. What is the market trying to tell you? The market's trying to tell you, hey, we popped to 104, and man, did the sellers come in. Man, did the sellers come in, and they just sold us straight down to the open and then lower, right? That's not what we want to see here. So we look okay. It's not like the end of the world type stuff. We do have a bull div, or sorry, bear div. I don't know why the cloud is down there. Did I move my cloud? Is that what happened? How did I even do that? Oh man, what is going on? Move to existing, there we go. A little bit of a bear div on RSI, certainly. It is what it is, you know? Like, again, do I like fresh trades up here? I do not like fresh trades up here. The other thing is the old multi-month target for this range has basically been hit at this point. This was the old target. This was the range, wedge, call it whatever you want, doesn't really matter at this point. High, low. So if you fib the high to the low, it gives you the current price. So what do we want in the meantime? I think it's a tough ask to just expect this to keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. Now, if Asia comes in and buys this up with leverage and pushes this and short squeezes, like, that's possible, right? But it's question answer, consolidation, range expansion. The 4 hour consolidated for a good long while and we broke out. And now we're going to find out, can we hold this or not, you know? That's kind of it. That's it for BTC. I don't really have anything else to say. We can look at things like power law corridor. We can look at high time frame models. Like, all that is totally fine, which is why, as far as holding BTC, I have no issues with that. Like, look at this thing. You've got, so this is power law corridor. It's based off the power law, obviously. Anytime we've crossed the midpoint on this, post-halving year, we typically reach for, or attempt to reach for, the ceiling. The ceiling currently is like 380-ish. So what's your stop here at 100K? I don't know. It's up to you to decide. Is your stop 50? Is your stop 80? I like 80 as a rebuy based on the cloud. But if you think this is going to 300 next year, do you really care if this pulls back to 95? You know? So that's where partitioning the cold wallet versus the trading wallet. If you're just trading BTC with a partial amount of your stack, you're a little more sensitive to price action here, obviously. But if not, then it doesn't really matter. You know, if you think we're going higher, which I think we are. That's what the model would suggest. We can also look at the 2-year moving average multiplier, and that would give us a level up there at 226. We're not even to the midpoint. This back tests very well. That's why I look at it. You know, that's kind of it. The slower we go on this trend, the better, which is another more reason to root for consolidation. You really have to root for people selling from like 2013. You have to root for them to do that. And then at the same time, root for the ETFs to buy, root for Sailor to buy, and hold up price, you know, because it's going to happen regardless. So we really have to hope that new buyers come in, which is what we're seeing. Without the ETFs, where would we be? You know, I don't think we'd be here. Definitely. Yeah, no, Nurk, don't take it personally or anything. When I mention a target that's lower, it's not an affront to you. I'm just saying that is a level that would be possible if we wanted to pull back. That's all. I don't know if we're going to go there. It's not about absolutes, it's about probabilities. So if you're not worried about a pullback, what do you care, right? It doesn't really matter. But that's the level. That's the level. And 2023 to 2024, we never touched the mean reversion level until basically a multi-week pause in 2020. Never touched it except the once in the entirety of the move. And in 2019, same thing, never touched it. You know, we can backtest this, right? 2016 through 2018, we touched it a bunch. Fine. But we haven't seen that recently. We haven't seen markets pulling back aggressively to get there. You'll notice a lot of this is Tenkin bounce. A lot of this has ridden the blue line, right? So it's personal preference. You know, do you want a DCA here? Do you want to wait? I can't answer that question for you. I'm not saying sell. I don't, you know, this is an investment advice anyway, but I like Williams fractals for the trailing stop loss. The current daily Williams fractals at 94, 90, yeah, 93.6, whatever. So in my trading wallet, I would be jumping out of BTC at that level. I already started to jump out and had to rebuy higher, and I'm okay with that. It was downside insurance in case we broke down. Okay, that's all that is. Insurance isn't free. So if you're not okay with that, then don't do it, right? Don't try to do it. But that's the read on BTC. This is also a Williams fractal breach today on the daily that just says to buy. It said that yesterday. So what's your time horizon? You know, when I go 100x long here, I think that's a little silly. 2x long, I don't hate it. If you're willing to eat some downside. 1x spot, totally fine. I'm fine with that to 40. Like, what do I care, right? If I think this is going to 300, or if you do, then does it really matter? I don't think so. It's just a matter of time. The other thing we've got besides the power law and the 2-year moving average is the cup and handle, which is still active. Even I tend to forget sometimes, like, of all the chart patterns, you've got high time frame, you've got low time frame, but this is one you don't want to forget. You know, this move matches the power law, matches the 2-year moving average multiplier. So between those two and this is the zone where you got to be careful, because much like we're consolidating after a move on low time frames, consolidating after a move on high time frames means months, a year, right? We could be bouncing around. This would be great. Bouncing around between 160 and 280 for a year. We could be. I don't know. So you have to manage your expectations if and when we get there, which I think we will. But that is, to me, a pretty high likelihood that we try to reach for that. And you'll see different people measuring this different ways. I'm using log. I'm using log fibs. That's why it looks like this and not like 110 or some other level that people were talking about. It's all up to you what you want to do, but I'm just telling you what I'm looking at. All very happy for ET. It's definitely holding up. I'm just reading chat here. Having said that, people want to know about... I have something just for you, degenerate speculator. So yeah, as far as BTC goes, I don't really have much else other than that. Trailing stop loss at 94. Rebuy would be Kijun at 80-ish. And continuation from here would be based on the 4-hour consolidation, which brings you from 105 to 109. You know, that's the decision tree as far as I'm concerned. Beyond 109, we have a yearly pivot at 116. So those are the levels. If we want to like do it like this, color by numbers. Boom, boom. This is like the be careful. Where's be careful? Yellow. Be careful is also here. And then rebuy is down here. Hold on. Rebuy is like somewhere down here. There we go. Sorry, there we go. You know, that's how I see the world right now for BTC. Yeah, the Kijun will come up with price, but it's not, we don't really want it to meet price. That means that's the other like get out signal from the cloud if you're long, which is what you saw in March. If you would have traded 41 to the TK cross and then gotten in and out again, and then gotten in and out again, you know, we'll just keep going, right? I don't think that's not technically an entry. This is an entry, and then you're good, right? This is a great example of, in March, we didn't really know what was going to happen. The cloud was very confused, but in the end, it wasn't wrong if you had a bullish bias. And if you were saying, I'm going to just keep longing every time we try to get back above the cloud. I don't know. That's my read. New yearly pivots less than 30 days. That's right. What's up, Jake? Twitter. Blake, Jake, Trav. Bitcoin definitely tops out within a month or two, says somebody in chat. Should I dox Z-Cole? One thing you've got to remember along with the cycles, the price models, we typically have topped a year after halving or thereabouts, right? So if we look at all the halvings, I don't know if you guys can hear the wind right now, but it is quite windy here. That was 370 days in 2013, 500 days in 2018, 300 days in 2021. So if we say, okay, between 300 and 500 days would be February to September. Sure, I don't hate that. You know, we'll see. If we are at 300 by February, then yeah, I'll be out there saying, you know, guys, I think we might need an extended break. If we are at 250 by September, I'll say, yeah, you know, I think it's probably it for a little while, but we're not there yet. We're not there yet. Okay, so I was just reading chat. So for alts or anything, what you can always do, I don't think this is available in Kraken yet, but there's a screener you can access on TradingView. You probably can't see this because my head's in the way. In the bottom right corner, there's like this bullseye button for screeners. Open it up. Go to crypto coins. I'll do a video on this Tuesday probably, but go to crypto coins screener, name it something you want, whatever, and then you can look at everything in the universe here and add a technical to it and export this outside of TradingView. So that's what I've done. It's a few steps, but it saves you a lot of time from physically going through each chart, right? So if we just look at coins above the 100-day moving average, it doesn't matter. Pick one, right? Pick the 50, pick the 100, pick the 250, pick the 3,000. It doesn't really matter. We're just trying to like normalize everything here. I left on RSI because sure, I thought it was pretty interesting. They've got these like Candlestick automated notes here in the screener. But anyway, so I've adjusted this a little bit. and I added a distance from the 100 moving average as an equalizer. Okay. So things I like here are around, we'll call it 30% from the moving average, because that's where BTC is, and you probably are comfortable with understanding how overbought or oversold that is. So anything above 30 is strong here. 30% above the 100-day, in this case it's an EMA. It doesn't matter. Again, it doesn't matter what it is. So BTC is 30, ETH is 30, fine. Sol and BNB a little underperforming. If I was looking to rotate into something based on this alone, that would be a candidate, as would Ton. We can take a look at these. Leo, I wouldn't touch. I don't like exchange tokens. But then when we get to Ripple, when we get to Cardano, Stellar, HBAR, I don't see an entry on those charts just based on this alone. These are up, I don't know, 250% in a month. They can always keep going. That's not what this is about. This is about probabilities. What more do you want, you know? I'm not saying these are terrible trades or these are terrible coins. I'm just saying, what is the expectation, right? Do I think you can do better trading coins that are less overbought? I think so. But if you don't think so, then do something else. But if we sort this list and we look just to like the top 100, is there anything else? CAS is another one that hasn't really gone anywhere. I didn't like that chart last week, but we can take a look at it. XMR did break out of the multi-year consolidation, but the problem with XMR is it's not really traded anywhere, so it's going to have a hard time moving. I love the coin, but it's going to have a hard time moving. OKB is another exchange token. It's just not for me. What else we got? WIF, we can take a look at. I like Pepe here. I like Doge here. Floki, we can take a look at. Rune, respectable. Maker, Pith, Jup, AR, I think that's Arweave, right? But this other stuff that's up 100%, you know, it's gotten beaten down for years, to be fair, and it's recovering. But like Ondo, you know, would I touch that here? I wouldn't touch it here. IOTA. Would I touch IOTA ever? No. Would I touch it here? Especially no. KCS, I forget what that one is. Is that an exchange token? I can't remember. HNT also has been underperforming. What else we got? Popcat. So it's a lot of meme coins that haven't moved, probably because they cooled off. You know, they moved early, and now they might move again. I mentioned that Wednesday. Mog, Not, Ordi. You know, I wouldn't touch anything past 100, but you know, I know people that do. Dash is up 120% from the 100-day moving average. And the further you go down this list, to me, it thins out pretty quick as far as things I'd ever want to think about touching. So what can we do? We can like sort by, can I go top 100? Is this going to work? If I do this, if I hide these, can I hide them? I think so. Hold on. Let me just try this real quick. No, maybe not. I think I gotta, hold on, sorry. Let me just get this to work. I know there's a way. Hide. Okay, there we go. And now if we sort this by A to Z, okay. So here's the list. Here's BTC, that's the benchmark, that's whatever. Anything lower than that in the top 100, probably decent, fair game to look at. Anything that's slightly above, you know, TIA is another one. Hasn't moved, looks okay. IMX, OP, Pith, all these, they look okay. I'm going to hide Leo. It's not for me. Tau is another one. So you get the idea. It's just a good way to normalize everything when everything is up 1 trillion%, right? Yeah, I have it filtered, Gulshi. Anyway, so that's alts right now, right? Not a lot to choose from. Let's be honest, that was like, what, 5? We can go down and look at all these, but is Ripple, you can do the same exercise that you did with BTC. Where do I want to buy it? Where do I think it's going? And then what's like the stretch target? If we look at Ripple on the 2-year moving average multiplier, just again, we need some way to equalize this. Use whatever you want. It doesn't matter to me. But if I'm trying to figure out, is this overbought? Is this oversold? Historically, does this go much further? Historically, it can go further. It has gone further in 2017 and 2018. So it's personal preference. To me, this is a sell all day long based on this. It could go to 10. It could go to 50. I doubt it, because then it would be bigger than all tradable things in the universe. But just based on this is measuring 5 times the 2-year moving average. We're there. We've been there. So to me, it's just an avoid. It's an avoid. Cloud likes 170. Is there anything on the 4-hour we like? I was talking about this head and shoulders thing. Maybe it breaks down, maybe it doesn't. It doesn't really matter. But if I see that anywhere on a chart, it's not for me. Next chart, right? I don't need to spend the time thinking, hemming and hawing. This coin is up 500% in a month. It still looks good. There's just other stuff. There's other stuff. ETH daily. It looks good. I mentioned this on Wednesday. A lot of these charts have like this rising wedge shape. That's not going to throw me off versus Head and Shoulders personally, but a lot of these other alts have gone much higher outside of their, vertical accumulation, if you want to call it that. Before ETH broke out, it had a cup and handle here that we talked about. That still measures higher. So we got that we're working on. ETH on high time frames has another cup and handle like BTC. That is being worked on, right? Man, why do I keep pressing the wrong button? So that's still being worked on. So to me, there's plenty of upside in ETH. It's personal preference. If you want to chase and you want to find every best alt for every minute of every day, you're going to go nuts. So do I think this has upside? Absolutely. Do I think it's going to be sluggish and wait until next year to attempt any of this? Probably. This will probably go to all-time high by the end of the year. And then within the next 6 months, we're going to see ETH try to get to 10. It has the technical evidence for that. The 3-day cloud is on your side. The weekly cloud is on your side. What more do you need? That's all I need to see. It looks good. It looks good. What I like the most right now is ETH BTC. And if you know anything about me, this chart has been mega bearish for years. But what I like about this chart is this multi-month pattern that it's setting up for. Inverted head and shoulders into the cloud, into 2025. I don't want to miss this trade. That's a trade that is a big one if it pays off, right? Just because even this, so this isn't bullish on high time frames, but even if it mean reverts to like 047. Now, if you get something above that, which we haven't seen in years, we haven't seen it in years, chat. It hasn't been bullish in years. But if next year's the year, then then you're talking 056, 06, I don't know. But I will be watching this on the daily, 100%. If you've already been long ETH for 2 years, I don't think now is a great time to add. I like ads if I'm already underwater. I like ads here, to be clear, in 2025 above 0.4. But if you hold no ETH like I do, then I don't mind accumulating some ETH and just seeing what happens with the stop loss at 0, because let's be realistic here. If ETH is selling off, then BTC is selling off, right? A realistic stop loss is, this is like the ultimate stop loss is a new low. A realistic initial partial stop loss would be the shoulder level stop loss. So this was the left shoulder. Your stop loss could be slightly under that, right? Maybe we get a shoulder, maybe we don't. A right shoulder, whatever. But the neckline is probably roughly there. So yeah, I like bids all over this area. If you don't want a tight stop loss, then you don't put one in, right? But this is one of the better looking setups for ETH in years against Bitcoin. Years. And this is just technicals, okay? This isn't a statement on the network. This isn't a statement on decentralization. This isn't a statement on RWA or Solana or any of that other stuff. Sol BTC is another one that I've talked about. Another trade I don't want to miss, but I don't care about this until it makes highs. So until it's at 027, I don't care. It can do whatever it wants. I don't want to touch it. It's been ranging for almost a year. I guess under a year at this point, but almost a year. It's been ranging. I don't want to sit in this. I just don't care. I want this above 027 or it's not for me. That's me. This does have, we'll talk about it every stream. This does have a cup and handle. This may do extremely phenomenally well relative to BTC. I don't know, but I don't care about it until it's above 027. I feel differently about ETH because ETH is, it's been down for years, right? So it doesn't have to bounce. This doesn't have to go anywhere. But if you want to take a stab on this, to me, now's a better time than any point in the past 2 years. And the cloud is on your side on the daily, and that's good enough for me. It's a funny name that I will not say on stream. I feel faint, says Joey. Just reading chat. All right, so that's Sol. Sol looks fine. People thought I killed a kitten when I said Sol had head and shoulders, and I didn't want to touch it. But here we are. It's gone nowhere. Again, it does not have to break down. You don't have to short every pattern in a bull market. But this is just not for me. It's just not for me. What do I want to see? I would love to see this just get dragged into flat chop for another month and then have a party in 2025. That would be great. But I'm not willing to sit in this and find out, The fractals tell you anything above 247, which also negates the head and shoulders. The measured move on the head and shoulders was roughly 210-ish, 203, 210. It doesn't have to go there. It got close. I don't care about that. It just doesn't look bullish to me here on low time frames. Daily looks fine, but it's clearly lagged everything. And I'm okay with that. That's in fact what you want in a bull market. You want leaders and laggards because then you have something to rotate into. So still weak, still just isn't for me. Even if you measure this as a falling wedge, I guess you could say, hey, we're almost above the cloud here. And this could go to 300. I don't hate that. I would get high confidence above 247. But I'm not going to just sit in that here. Trying to think, what else do we want to even attempt to look at? The meme coins, for the most part, have kind of done nothing here. SHIB had a little mini breakout the other day. It still looks okay. But you can't hate on something that's consolidated. Pepe, to me, low time frames, looks pretty good. I mean, it looks like an inverted head and shoulders to me. Would I rather trade this or Sol? It's this all day. I don't know. Shoulder, head, shoulder. As long as it can stay above the 4-hour cloud, love it. I love that it hasn't gone anywhere in a couple weeks. It's consolidated. It's held this level. Looks fine to me. Doge is the other one. I talked about head and shoulders versus ascending triangle yesterday. Still don't really have an answer on that. But it doesn't look terrible. Does it look amazing? No. It doesn't look terrible. If Bitcoin's trying to lose 100, if Bitcoin can hold 100, Doge should do well, Pepe should do well. But otherwise, you got to be careful with some of this stuff because we could be in pullback volatility land at 100, right? WIF was the other one. It kind of has gone nowhere, huh? So I'm always either looking for trend or a chart pattern. That's really it. This is bullish-ish, but I don't know. I don't know. Just looks like chop to me. Looks like chop. ADA, sure, we can look at it, but again, you know, it can keep going. I'm not going to buy it up here. Cloud likes 82 as a mean reversion. That's kind of it. You know, I don't really see anything. Where could this go from here? Cloud likes 163. 163 would be, is that the 50? What's that the 50% of? I don't even know. I guess it's the 50% of something on the way down. I don't know where that ledge is coming from. Anyway, 163 would be the next level higher based on the cloud. But I don't think you can expect much more out of ADA. At this juncture, Filecoin, same thing. I like it into 2025. And this is, again, personal preference. What's your time horizon? How long do you want to hold this? Is this for real a trade for you? Or is this just, I hope this goes up 20% in the next 2 days? You know, if it's, I hope it goes up 20% in the next 2 days, maybe this one you put on the back burner. But if you like this into Q1 and Q2 2025, I'm in agreement with you. It has triple bottom type behavior. I don't hate it here. I think it looks fine. I like it to 20, right? But you got to be patient. It's like Square. You know, we can pull up Square. You know how many times people have tried to long Square, including myself? I mean, this took years, right? This took 900 days to break out. Was it worth sitting in this thing for 900 days? No, I don't think so. But being there about where Filecoin is at 80, you know, it's on its way to 100 Square. It's just a matter of personal preference. What do you want to sit in and what do you don't, you know? But yeah, it looks good. It looks good. And much like ETH BTC, it has been down only kind of for 5 years, right? It's just nothing. ICP is another one similar. I thought it was similar, maybe not. if you think this is a high time frame cup and handle, and again, you've got this 6-month time frame, love that for you. But if you think it's going to go up 20% today, you know, maybe this isn't the one. Maybe this isn't the one. AR was the other one. Is that not on? Maybe it's not on Kraken. I think that's Arweave, right? Am I wrong? Yeah, it's Arweave. This one, what do we got on the daily? Kind of just breaking out. Yeah, it looks okay. Looks okay. While I'm thinking of it, BNB has reached the old consolidation target. I don't know. All of the exchange tokens collectively are tough because you've got a lot of people who are getting paid in exchange tokens as their bonus or whatever, right? It is what it is. So you're competing with that on the buy side, right? If there's people selling, if there's tokens getting unloaded, they could say, well, they burn, you know, BNB is going to have a record burn or something, right? Okay. You still have a lot of people getting this as like a bonus. AIOZ, I think that's on Kraken. Nope, I am mistaken. AIOZ. That previous inverted head and shoulders went nowhere. But this one broke out. I mean, what was tough about all of these moves collectively is everything happened at the same time in November because of the election, right? You had the catalyst, and then boom. Oh, you're off to the races, right? So, like, if you're like me and you're sitting in BTC, like a good little maxi, you don't pay attention to this other stuff when you should be entering it, regardless of the coin, which is just the cloud breakout, right? So now that we're up here, what is there for me up here? I don't know. Just, it looks like it needs time to relax. Yeah, you also have to pay attention to coin unlocks. TIA has kind of moved, I guess, over the past week. I don't hate it. It looks okay. The target's still 10, 12. It's not going to blow your hair back from 850, but it's again, it's personal preference, it's relative value. Do I like this or Ripple? I like this. Do I like this or HBAR? I like this. Do I like this or Algo? I like this, you know? But it's all up to the individual. KCS is KuCoin shares. Ah, okay. Yeah, so that's another one that would be ineligible in my investable universe because I just don't like trading exchange tokens. That's just me. What else is on this list? Maker and HNT. I think they have. Yeah, Maker. It looks like Arweave. It's above the cloud. It's had quite the move from the bottom. 100% from the bottom. It looks okay. It looks okay. Maybe a little overbought. HNT. Last time we looked at this, I think it was below the daily cloud. If this will load, there it is. Okay, so it popped back up. I don't know. The issue with this is it just hasn't traded too well. You know, maybe people start rotating, like I said, with the memes. Maybe they start rotating back into stuff that moved first, which would be Tau and Sui. Sure, why not? You know, doesn't look horrible. Doesn't look turbo overbought, right? Now Sui was up a bunch today. I think it was up 20% at one point. So you're probably a little late on that one, but it looks okay. It looks okay. There were some others. Never looked at this one. Somebody requested it. No, maybe I have. Ampleforth. It's traded on one exchange. That's a sign right there. Probably not for me. It's done well. I hope this person has done well. Let me just make a note. What's the timestamp on this? 46? 46 minutes. There you go. If I was in this from 8, it's a sell. If I'm in this from 20, it's probably also a sell. I don't like it up here as a buy. I don't know. Again, it's like, what do you expect? What is your expected move here? It's got to have multiple tickers, right? Because it's up 250% in a couple months. Yeah, I can keep going. But, you know, if you've got some long-term thesis, sure, why not? Why not? But it's not for me up here. Just looking at the rest of this list. All right, a bunch of TradFi requests. Anybody else in the chat? I looked at those. What else we got? Sol ETH. Yeah, Sol ETH looks okay. You know, it's not bullish. It's not turbo bearish. It reminds me of dominance, Bitcoin dominance. I don't know. It's very tough to trade these when they chop like this. The cloud says it's bullish on high time frames. I wouldn't touch Sol here, but I like ETH here on the USD pair. I like ETH BTC over Sol BTC here. That's just me. I'm not looking at SLF. Can you look at LPT? Sure. Sure. Thanks for all the donos. Thanks for hanging out with yours truly. Live peer. Yeah, it looks fine, you know. Do we have any notes on this? We do not. So the most recent consolidation was this. So if we measure the breakout higher, it takes us to like 20, 30, something like that. But yeah, it looks fine. It looks okay. Jasmine? This one's done very well, right? I mean, is it a buy or sell here? It's not a buy for me. What does the low time frame look like? You can see the parabola. It's just tough because I'm coming in here saying sell, sell, sell. Not a best move, ice. But, you know, do I want to buy the top of a parabola? I don't. But it's probabilities. Do you think this is going to go to 10 cents? If you do, then, you know, stick it out, have a stop loss, and that's that. But how much more are we going to get? I don't know. Is there more data that I can look at? Is there like a weekly? So if we measure this, yeah, 10 cents is theoretically possible. You just got to be careful and have some patience with that one. T looked okay versus the EMA. Yeah, it did. Michi, thanks for the dono, Harker. If I can spell it. Is it this? I think it's this, right? Just give me, is there, which exchange has a chart? Because none of these have a chart. I guess because I'm on the weekly. I don't think this looks like accumulation to me. I just think it looks like nonsense. Nonsense chop. I got nothing. I got nothing to say on this. Just chop. I have no idea. Nonsense chop. No idea. Aave, sorry, I don't have an opinion. Just looks like chop to me. Yeah, AR looks okay. We just looked at that. Near, we can take a look at near. It looks fine. I think on the, was it on the list here? Yeah, it's only mildly up above the 100 EMA. It looks okay. Another thing to do with the screener is try to pull the BTC pairs and see what those look like, because like if we've got near BTC, those look a lot more palatable. Like this is a daily breakout. Before Link went bonkers, it had that daily breakout right there. Not saying that near is going to do what Link did, but just on a relative value, even LTC, right? LTC down for 2 years, 3 years, 6 years, 10 years, just endless. So sure, like why not, right? Why not? We're in alt season. This is alt season. Why not? Why not? But yeah, I would check the BTC pairs. TIA is another one that it certainly looks like it's getting close. Is this the right? Yeah. It has this expanding, broadening wedge thing. It's trying to get above the cloud. But again, it's personal preference. You can't look at the checkout line that's moving faster and switch. If you're like, you know what, I like TIA. It might take a minute, but I've got some conviction. It's down 80% against Bitcoin less than a year. I'm not pumping TIA here. I'm not saying it's going to do well. I'm just saying, you know, if you like the trade, you have to have some conviction and make a decision. Hot. A lot of these charts have had, you know, we were talking about like AVAX and even SUI. SUI was the first to consolidate and break out, but then you had just like rolling consolidations and breakouts. So to me, anything that looks like this just needs consolidation time. It's not bearish, but it, you know, I wouldn't touch it up here. It's not for me. Where do I think this could go? What's your time frame? You know, is your time frame 6 months? If your time frame is 6 months, then yeah, like why not? Everything that's been beaten down for 2 years is starting to pop up. So a lot of these charts have like the W double bottom characteristics. Could this go to 2 cents? You know, I doubt it, but it just depends. Depends how long you want to stay in this versus something else. TIA market cap's at an all-time high. Oh, that's not good news. Lots of requests for Wi-Fi. All-time high for SUI. Nice. BTC starting to look like a shooting star. Come on, Golshi. Don't do that to me. Wow, we got crushed. See, this is what I'm talking about Thursdays, man. Thursdays are just... Thursdays are rough. Yeah, not the candle we want to close on for the day. Certainly. But hey, if you're looking to get some fills, there you go. We are washing out all of the leveraged folks, that's for sure. What a pullback. What a pullback. Thanks, Zach. Wi-Fi Fat Uni. Just reading chat. All right, we'll do those, then we'll do Legacy super quick. One thing I absolutely do not like here is MSCR. Just doesn't make sense to me. Especially because it looks like Sailor's selling he's tapping the ATM. Wi-Fi, do I like it up here? You know, let's let's do a time horizon sniff test, right? Do I like this in the next 6 months to go higher? Yes. Do I expect this to move another 150% tomorrow? No, I don't. But clearly you've got evidence. You've got evidence of this, just repeated attempts to try to break up, It's like the square chart, right? I don't like the fundamentals of Wi-Fi, but if we are in alt season, sure. You know, it's just tough. Would I trust this for 6 months? No. 3, maybe. 1, I trust it for, through December into January. Just the technicals alone look great. They look great. It's just the fundamentals of the coin. You just got to be careful. FET was also probably on this. Yeah, only 41%. FET hasn't moved much. I don't know if the AI stuff is slowing down because NVIDIA slowed down, and maybe NVIDIA is a better chart to look at for the AI coins. If you're bullish NVIDIA, it kind of looks, you know what I'm going to say, kind of looks head and shoulders-y up here. A little bit, right? Oop. I can't draw on the lines. Kind of looks like this. So if this doesn't break down, which it doesn't need to, but let's say NVIDIA hits 150, then I'd expect AI coins to do better. If NVIDIA breaks to like 180, then yeah, FET should look really good. So should NIR. So should, what are the other ones? I don't even know. The other coins. INJ looks fine. We're kind of in two spots here in the market. You're either way overbought or you're just mildly overbought. That's kind of it. Someone's spending 1 ape for me to look at ape. Is that on Kraken? Again, it's like high time frames. High time frames, you're telling me this doesn't look like a bottom? Of course not. Do I know when this is going to potentially break? No clue. But man, if I'm trying to set the scene for something into 2025, yeah. If I was bullish on something like this, I would just literally forget you own it, check back in like April. Like that's where we're at with this stuff. That's it. Like this could dip down back to $1. You just have to give it time. Look at the Filecoin stuff, even Sand. All of this stuff is just a marshmallow test, because if you want to be in it for alt season, then you kind of have to, if you like me at my best, or if you don't like me at my worst, you don't deserve my best sort of situation. Like you kind of have to be able to eat the drawdown, I think, to really get in this stuff, because it's very hard to time, at least for me. So like, if you ate Sand from 50 to 30, who cares? It's at $1, right? And hopefully you're buying a little bit more. I don't know. That's why it's a good idea to try to map out where you think this stuff could go on the way down, where it could go on the way up, where you like bids, that sort of thing. It's funny how everybody has like their own little pet. I'm not just saying this about LimeWire, but they have like their own little pet coin that they like. Yeah, it broke out of the cloud. I can't remember what I said last week, but I probably said something like it's trying to get through the cloud. It looks okay. Again, it's personal preference, right? What is 50% of the down move? 50% of the down move is 43 cents. So that we hit. Where do we go from here? I don't know. I mean, 50 cents. I don't have good targets for you. Doge on this list is it right there? No, it is 85. So it's about double BTC, but it's coming in. It's high. It's definitely high. So, that's probably why it's struggling up here to continue, just because it's up. It was one, like, I think Sui maybe was first, but Doge was not far behind. And it's just hard to keep pushing, right? It needs time. At one point, Doge, I'm sure, was up 200%. Now it's up 85 from the 100 EMA, right? Okay. Legacy real quick, then we'll get out of here. Let's just go down this list. I get a lot of questions about BITU and ETH-U and I don't know. I would chart the USD pair and just make a decision from there. It's just tough because do you want to hold this into the weekend here? Do you want to hold it? And I know it's only Thursday, but do you want to hold this Friday into Monday? Do you want to hold this overnight here? I don't know. That's up to you. I don't have a good answer. I like looking at this like on the 4-hour. I don't know. It's not for me. And like MSTR looks like a dumpster fire to me. Okay. Like you can let me know in the comments how wrong that is, but all day long, this chart looks like a head and shoulders to me. I'm not touching this. Sorry. This doesn't have to break down, but I don't have to buy it. So I'm not. BITU is a better option. BITX is a better option. Legacy or ETF options are a better option. Just doesn't make sense to me. And neither does MSTU, MSTX. Same. You're telling me that's not a head and shoulders? Doesn't have to break down. Keep that in mind. But it's not telling you that the market's exactly bullish here. Now you could say, well, there's an Adam and Eve here, Josh. Okay, you got Adam and Eve. Okay, fine. And then you've got this massive thing. Okay, so back to MSCR. Maybe this goes below 250. But I'm not. Why sit in this here? That's the thing. Like, man, it's just, I see people getting trapped into this leveraged MSTR stuff, and it's going to be painful if this stuff breaks down. And I'm not just saying that because I don't own it or whatever. I've traded this and I don't own any at the moment. But yeah, I traded it from July to November. Okay. Let me find the Pitchfork real quick. Pitchfork, I call on you in this time of need. Okay, so Pitchfork is somewhere around 250 plus is the midpoint. The daily key June is just below us here, 345. This did bounce, and it hasn't really gone anywhere. So it's just not for me. It's in the too hard pile. Like, why? I want to buy when people are like crying that they lost all their money. No offense to anybody who did. That's when I want to buy. I don't know how low that goes, if it goes lower, but I'm just saying, like, it just doesn't make sense to buy up here to me. Why is TM market cap at an all-time high? A bad sign? Because price is down 80%, and that just means there's been a lot of token unlocks. It's like Filecoin, it's like ICP. There's high FDV, high token unlock. It's just harder for the market to absorb. That's all. Yeah, it's high because of dilution. Thank you, Pedro. ETH-U, to me, the idea that I had on this happened, so I don't have anything else here at the moment. I just wouldn't touch it here for me. Coin briefly broke up and pulled back a little bit. It still looks okay, but you kind of need BTC not to die. I'm just looking at my other screen. It's at 99. It looks okay, you know, not terrible, not overbought. Square we looked at briefly, it looks fine. I like Square into 2025, no issues there. What else we got on this list? Anything fun? Miners. Miners just aren't for me. Again, do you want to? It's personal preference. Do you want to trade MSTR or do you want to trade BITU? Do you want to trade BITU or do you want to trade ETF options? Do you want to trade miners or MSTR? Some people are really good at the miners. I just would rather not until I'm super sure that there's any setups here, and they've been super noisy. Super noisy. IREN looks good. It looks fine. It's just been chop. Just tons and tons of chop. It's been up chop. I will give you that, miners. I will give you that. But man, it has not been a smooth ride. Marathon, I just would never touch for any reason. Just not for me. There's better things to do with my money. Speaking of all-time highs in price, somebody from Marathon, I don't know if it was the CFO or somebody, they tweeted out, "Congratulations, we've hit an all-time high." A lot of good that does to people who are sitting in the stock and it's at 25 from 70, right? So that's the problem. It's just a lot of dilution. I wouldn't touch Riot either. Just not for me. So yeah, miners kind of on the struggle bus. CleanSpark, it looks okay. It's trying to break out of this huge triangle thing. So I don't know. It's tough. It's tough here today to say, hey man, this is a great trade for me. It's just not for me. Yeah, Spot ETH looks good. I agree. Row Jogan, quickly DXY pulling back. That's what we like to see. DXY breaking down on a head and shoulders fractal. That's what we like to see. Again, like this is literally, that berry is blue, that berry is red, that berry is white, whatever. Like that's how this should be for patterns to me. It's like there's no ambiguity here. Monkey sees head and shoulders. Monkey does not go long this pair. So that's it. That's it. Which is good for us if DXY is bearish. That's what we want to see. This was another setup that, man, is this thing thinly traded? So you got to be careful. But if you just want some like high octane on the legacy side, that's not crypto right now. EVAV is a leveraged EV ETF, if I can say that. I just like the chart. That's all. All right, people are asking me about other stuff. PFE, Pfizer. So I let go of Pfizer. I think I held it. I held it from somewhere over here. I added somewhere over here. And then I finally let go of it somewhere over here. The chart does not look good. You know, it's one of those where you can take a stab because it's down for a year plus. It broke out of the cloud and it didn't hold. So this is not bullish to me at all. I just wouldn't play around with it. I wouldn't touch it. You've got regulatory headwinds coming in. Just not for me. Microsoft also had regulatory headwinds. I think that's what, yeah. Hasn't mattered so far. I was very, very bearish on this, have been bearish on this. It refuses to break down, so good for Microsoft. What do I want to say? It's a head and shoulders, or at least it was. Tried to break down, didn't. Tried to stay bearish, didn't. They got hit with antitrust or whatever they did in the United States. It hasn't mattered. This is what you want to see to cancel out an inverted head and shoulders. I mean, this might be like a textbook. It's actually fine now, you know. But I can never sit in this. I can never, if you get this on anything, I cannot sit in this chart and just be optimistic. That's my whole thing. This is where you can get optimistic. If you're trying to make new highs, the cloud is telling you it's okay. It's above the cloud. Cloud is bullish. So yeah, it looks okay. It looks okay. IGV is another one. Keeps screaming higher. Software ETF, I think I'm up like 25% on this position. Again, just basic ABC TA. Looks good. XAU. Cloud just looks tired. Not for me. Here on gold. AEM, another gold miner. Looks okay, but it's, you know, it's trying to consolidate bearishly, in my opinion. mRNA. Yeah, it's like somebody was asking me about SMCI. It's kind of the same here. There's just so many other things to trade. You know, this is down 80% in a couple months. It's just, you know, to me, it's just like, why? It's just not for me. SMCI bounced a ton. I don't know. I don't like waking up to headlines. You know what I mean? Like, the headline risk here is high. Maybe this consolidates for a right shoulder into 2025. I don't know. It's not something I'd touch here personally. Yeah, URA. URA I like on high time frames. You've got, what is it, the weekly? You've got a cup and handle situation. So I like that. I think we look good on that one into 2025. DJT on the cloud. Oops. DJT. Oh boy. Somebody was asking me about this earlier. I don't know. Again, something else I just wouldn't touch. I don't think it's worth the effort. Maybe this gets acquired by Elon and Twitter and it goes to 60. I don't know. I have no idea. This is a mess. This is just a giant mess. Giant mess. Link, sure. Yeah, someone was asking targets for Link. I mean, here seems pretty good in the near term. So what I'm doing there is I'm measuring the cup and handle. 50, 70, new all-time high. Is that a new all-time high for this cycle? I guess it would be a potential new all-time high. So 2x from here, possible, possible. Yeah, Peter, so I'm not just going to disagree with you. The issue is, like, you do need a fundamental narrative story. So he's saying Jasmine is good for IoT. You certainly do need a story. That's why Bitcoin exists and has done well. The issue with stuff just over time is, you know, Link is a classic example of just PR. But here we are, price-wise, you know. IOTA was another great IoT chain. I don't know how they are on the development side, but if we pull this up against BTC, what does it look like? Just death forever, you know. The reason I focus on technicals is just because the fundamentals tend to matter a lot less over time. That's all. Square we looked at looks good. I like it. Above 100, 180 I think is the level. Leveraged long ETH short Sol vibe. Leveraged long ETH short Sol. Is that necessary? Leverage long ETH, short Sol. I mean, you could. One that I looked at today that I thought was interesting was leveraged coin over MSTR, which is basically leveraged ETH over leveraged BTC, kind of like a synthetic ETH BTC pair. It looks just like ETH BTC to me, for sure. Oh, Roblox, man. That was another one. It's like SMCI. I was just sick of hearing about all the headlines. So that one I cut, but it looks good. It looks good. Target 67.85. I mean, look, the TA played out. If I was on a deserted island and did nothing, it would have done very, very well. So it looks good. Still looks good. Chipotle, then we get out of here. I'm hungry. Chipotle. What is going on with Chipotle? It looks fine. You know, it's not bearish. It's above the cloud. It's not crazy overbought. It just had a massive run and it pulled back, reconsolidated. I don't know. It looks fine. I don't have anything to say. I'm sure the valuation is infinity, like like Costco, right? Are they going to split Costco soon? I think they might. Crazy chart. All right. I think that's all I got in me. Losing my voice, getting hungry. Yeah, the adoption. Yeah, Peter. So, you know, I don't want to like shit all over Jasmy because the community is there and it's got developers, but the reality is the tokenomics matter a lot. The coin unlocks, coin concentration, the Guinea effect, Ginny, however you say that. I think it's Ginny. Who owns most of the coins? When are they selling? That sort of thing. Thanks for hanging out. I will be putting on a video Sunday, like I do every Sunday. Hopefully Bitcoin can muster some courage here, get itself together, and not go to zero after breaking out like that. That's a pretty nasty rejection for sure. But I've seen worse. Definitely not a bullish candle. If it closed like this today, everything we talked about at the beginning of the stream, Gravestone, Shooting Star, Dragonfly, it's going to be one of those candlesticks most likely. That's not good. All right, thanks everybody. Take care. Bye-bye.